Good evening. Welcome to the Leader's Edge. Tonight, it's season 5, episode 9. And our topic is all about women empowerment. Now, you see, ladies and gentlemen, women or men, as an individual, a spouse, and a parent, well, they're always the inspiration for strength, courage, and confidence. When everyone around you see you looking stunning at any age, anywhere, anytime, change happens. Through dressing, doing it right and understanding the psychology of dressing, you can empower yourself to be more magnetic and inspire changes in others. Tonight, you're going to learn from our expert all about three things. Number one, the power of impressions. Number two, how the knowledge of dress sense has a psychological effect on you as a woman or a man, and especially as a professional. Number three, simple ways to look great every day. Our speaker tonight is an international image consultant, personal branding expert, and author. Sheila Wong starts to attract business success, lucrative opportunities, and recognition within 2 short years of embarking on her path of transforming lives of people by sharing her secrets on image branding techniques. Imagine this. More than 60,000 people and 170 corporations have benefited from her workshops, seminars, and coaching. She's been honored with the Award of Excellence in Image Consulting in Orlando in May 2011 by the Association of Image Consultants International, that's AICI. Sheila is also the founding president of the Malaysian chapter of AICI, and she is an AICI CEU provider for the SWET Image Certification course for image consultants. And I'm sure she'll explain more about that later on. She has also spoken in international conventions in Macau, Bangkok, Manila, Singapore, and Zhongshan. Her few outstanding milestones were being a plenary speaker for Mary Kay's annual seminars of 5,000 participants and 5,000 more for 2 consecutive years. Woo! And speaking to image consultants in Manila and Chicago. She is the author of 3 image books, Groom or Broom. Yes, you can look slimmer, and 21 Days of Etiquette. Sheila has been featured in numerous publications for her tips in image and beauty, including NST, Star, Sun, Nanyang, Siang, Pan, Sinchu, Jikpo, Feminine Corporate Journey, Her World, Women's Weekly, Cosmo, Health and Beauty, Harper's Bazaar, as well as NTV7 and TV2, BFM, and Radio 24. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome to our virtual stage none other than Sheila Wong. Sheila?
Thank you, Dino. Thank you. I am so grateful and overwhelmed by such a glorious introduction of me. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dino. Yes. And hi, everybody. I'm Sheila Wong, and I am from Malaysia.
During our previous episode, we had another image consultant, much as yourself, that was Delby Pragais. Talk also about how managing your image can improve your personal branding, whether it's a corporate brand or a personal brand. But I'm curious, just like Delby, because we all have our origins. How did your journey towards becoming empowered, becoming she empowered begin for you? Where did it all start?
Wow, thank you, Dino. And yes, I know Debbie. Debbie is a good friend of mine, and I've also seen how she has risen to the rank of being a certified image master. And her journey has been really inspiring. I'd like to share my humble beginnings. Now, if you look at me today, I appear to be so confident, so fearless. Well, that was not how it was before. So if you allow, I would like to share with you. Okay, just give me a minute. Huh? I share with you my story. Yes, what you are seeing before you is a very confident lady, and a lot of people has also mentioned to me that I am very confident, I'm fearless. Oh well, it was not like that. Today, I am a loving wife, a doting grandmother, as well as a caring mother to my three children. Two of my girls are married. The youngest one just got married during the pandemic. And my second daughter has got two children whom I dote on. They all stay in Australia except my son. But I was not as I appear to be today. When I was younger, very much younger, this was how I looked before. I lack, yes, I lack confidence and I lack respect. That was how it began. Now, what happened was, yes, when I got married, I moved to another city in Malaysia. I knew nobody. I worked with my husband for a while. My husband was a housing property developer. And after a little while, I didn't feel good working for my husband. The reason being, in my young mind then, a husband ought to love the wife. And there I was reporting to him as my boss. So after working for him for a year, I said, no, I call it quits. And I quit, after which I gave birth to my son. And I was restless for a year. So I was restless for a year. I wanted to look for a job. I said, no, I'm not going to work for my husband anymore. Let me look for a job. Because my humble beginning, I was working for a multinational company. But I couldn't get a job then. Because at that point of time, the mindset of people is when you're married, we better give opportunity to those who are not married. So I couldn't get a job. And my husband said, why don't you start your own business where you have your own freedom? He was my financier. He gave me the finances to start my own business. I started my own beauty center in a historical city in Malaysia called Malacca. And I started something that was really meant for the elite. And there was hardly any of this type of center. And within 1 month, whether you believe it or not, I got back my capital. And the ladies who came, yes, when the ladies who came, but they didn't respect me because in their mind, I was a rich man's wife. They didn't take me seriously. They were really talking to my manager and my staff, and I felt very depressed. I was in a stage of depression, and even my own manager bullied me. So I told my husband that if I want to be in this field, I need to go for constant education. I said, why don't I go to London? And yes, I never traveled alone. And that was the first time I traveled alone. I went to London all by myself. But I was frightened. I was really frightened. I boarded Singapore Airlines. Within half an hour of airborne, engine trouble began. So Singapore Airlines took a flight back to Singapore and I was scared stiff. I was 4 hours in Changi not doing anything. And after the fourth hour, our plane took off again. And I was tapped on the shoulder because the flight was full. It was all Caucasians. I was the only Asian. And I was only in my 20s then, early 20s. So the cabin crew tapped onto my shoulder. I do not know how come I was singled out. And it was a pleasant surprise where they upgraded me to business class. I was elated. I went to business class. And another half an hour later, they tapped on my shoulder again and said, Miss Wong, would you like to be upgraded to first class? I said, oh my, first class. So I went into first class all the way to London, 18 hours, but I did not open my eyes. The reason being, I felt that I didn't deserve that first class seat. I didn't pay for it and I felt that I was not worthy of that seat. So it was really a mindset. That 18 hours, I was hungry. I didn't even take, I only took sips of water. My eyes was closed throughout. And at some point, the cabin crew tapped on my shoulders again and asked me, I was pretending to be asleep. And she asked me, would you like dinner, Miss Wong? And my eyes closed, I shook my head. I didn't even have the courtesy to say no, thank you, because I felt small. Small is the word I use. But I peeped from my eyes and I saw they were cooking beef over a small flame. I was hungry, but I rather go hungry than to please people. That was how small I felt. That was how lack of confidence I was. That was me. When I reached London, the only memento I had of the first class flight was a set of Sango dinnerware that they gave to me, a mini set. I slept myself, and that was the time when I awoke. I said, no, if I don't take charge, I will always be living in someone's shadow. I was actually living in my husband's shadow because he is tall, 6 feet two, and I felt small too because everybody only know his name and they call me Stephen's wife. I didn't have my own identity, right? He was my financier, so he was the guy was who was the one who was well taken care of, who had enough and had not enough. That was my problem, I realized. So when I was learning the course of image consulting, which we call grooming then, I went for a grooming and social etiquette course in London. And what I did was I started to dress differently. I said I couldn't risk, I couldn't risk that people don't respect me anymore. Because in the past, I like to dress very young because I was young and I want to look young. I don't want to be called as auntie. But that changed my mind. I said, no, I need to look more mature. I need to look more sophisticated. A few months in London, doing that every day has developed a habit of looking a little bit more mature, a bit more respectable. And I started to speak up. That was what I needed to do, to speak up and stand up and be seen. And when I came back from London, I dressed in a more professional way, and that was all it needed. My clients started to look up to me. My staff started to look up to me. And also very soon, within 1 month, I started to conduct modeling courses and grooming courses for the ladies. That was like ages ago, really ages ago. And that was how I developed my confidence. And that made me think every day, the opportunity is there. And whether we want to take it up or not, because we never know. And every day, we are facing the world. The minute we walk out of our bedroom, we are facing the world. So we really need to dress the part, look the part, behave the part, so that when people look at us, they are inspired by our image. Because even though it's like appearances is not anything, but appearances count. It's the thing that gets things started. That's how I feel. That if we want to be the power for change, we ourselves must be the change. And we start by looking right, not only looking good, but looking right for our part in society as well as befitting our status.
So,
Yeah.
Sheila, there is a common thread in your origin story as well as the origin stories of, say, Dinah and Delby and many of the other strong women that we have had on the show. And that is their desire at an early age to establish their own identity, to establish their own independence. And yet, I was so charmed by your story about your experiences when you booked a flight to go to London and what you went through. It to me it described a deep struggle that you had to overcome. That sense of, say, not being worthy, and I totally get what you're saying because all battles need to be won in the mind first before they're won anywhere else. And incidentally, having seen your family picture and seeing you on our interview here today, I struggle to reconcile your description of yourself as a grandmother because you frankly don't look like a grandmother to me. I mean, I may look my age because I have white hair and all that. And frankly, I think I look older than Dinah. uh, she has seemed to discover the fountain of her youth. And one of those, which mirrors your origin story, is that she decided early on to become independent. So just like they'll be just like you, all three of you created your own businesses, built your own success, worked your way and earn the respect that you fully deserve. So fascinating as it is, and now we know about how your journey in image consulting began. Here's a question. Was it a smooth journey, or did you experience some bumps along the road in your travel towards where you are now? What were some of the more memorable things that really stands out in your memory as, if I had not met this person, or if I had not made this decision, I wouldn't be where I am now? Uh, Tell us about those.
There's so many factors that contributed to that. Thank you, Dino, for your question. So many people who have made so many impacts in my life and left so many footprints. There are a couple. I started my business in Malacca, and then my family, after 16 years in Malacca, we decided to move back to Kuala Lumpur, where we were originally from. And when we came back to Kuala Lumpur, because haven't seen the best and doing the best in Malacca, where I was also constantly in the eye of the media, I said, when I come back to KL to start another beauty center, it was beauty first, right? It was beauty first. I had a beauty center. It was like an all-in-one center, beauty, fitness, and modeling. So I did, yes, I groomed catwalk models for 9 years, but I've been operating beauty centers for 26 years. So during the time when I was in Malacca, it was a beauty center where the ladies come to do facial, and they will also come to do aerobics, dance, and all. And I learned dancing in London. I love to dance. So what I did was, when I came back and I conducted the courses, I picked up the tall ones, the slim ones, and of course the younger ones, and I groomed them to become our catwalk models. So Malacca being that, I was like the only modeling agency. I monopolized the trade, which was just as well. I used a fashion show where we had a lot of publicity, a lot of visibility, and people want to come to my place because they want to be seen. They want to be seen and be seen. So they came in as my client, while some of their children became my catwalk models. Then when we came back to KL, I said, sometimes we need to grow, we need to be different. Because in my time in Malacca, I was also invited to give a lot of talks, talk to lottery, talk to lions, and the news got around, and one corporation heard about me. And that corporation is a government-linked company. It's very big in Malaysia. They've got many, many, many companies in Malaysia. So it means the whole group. I was asked to give a talk on men's grooming. So I went to give a talk on men's grooming, and the men who turned up, they were all plantation managers. They were managing rubber estates and plantation where they're managing many, many estates. So they came together. They were all men wearing helmets and shorts. So how do you train men that wear helmets and shorts? But that was a spark I needed to say, yes, at some point or other, I cannot be always running modeling agencies. I want to do something different. And it never crossed my mind it was corporate training. But I said, well, if this company, Simon W, wants it, I'm sure there are many other companies that want it. That was the spark I needed. So it was a Toastmaster friend who introduced me to this job. And because of this friend, and because of because of having tasted what was corporate training about, I started to look into the arena of corporate training. So when I came back to KL, I started another beauty center. That means I was running two beauty centers, but I call it a different name. And whether you believe it or not, the power of the name, because the name is my intention. So let me share with you what is the name. Let me share with you my first company in Malacca. My first company in Malacca was called Slenderlin Beauty and Malacca Sindran Berhad. This was a franchise that I bought, and I run it in Malacca. And 3 years later, I bought over the franchise rights. So it was a slimming beauty and modeling center. And this one, I already came back from London. This was how I dressed, and this was how I got noticed. And when I went back to KL, more matured now, I didn't want to use Slenderline. I used Skin Ethics, Beauty, and C Image Stop. Why C dash image? C stands for corporate. The signboard doesn't allow too many alphabets to be inside because it was too lengthy. So I had to cut it. So what I did was I just put C dash. It stands for corporate. So when I started this center in KLCC, this was a Taiwanese artist who came to officiate the opening, right? I had me, and this was my partner from Malacca, my client who wanted to join in with me. So she took a minor share, and this was the opening. So this was how it all began in KLCC. If you've been to KL, you've heard of Surya KLCC, the famed Twin Tower. I had my center there. And image was the last thing on my mind. I wanted to expand my beauty setup. That means I wanted to have many chain stores. But because of this name, image, some of the Americans, they work in the oil and gas around here, they came over and asked me, do you do personal consulting? And that was how it started. So I started doing personal consulting for men, and I was a president of Toastmasters in KL. And I did a project for KL doing an image talk. The papers, the media got hold of it, and they gave me a 3-page write-up. And from then on, my corporate image training started in the year 2000. That was how it started. And I started using OHP. It was how it started. There was no LCD projector, and this was my way of training, my methodology using OHP. If you're in this era, you understand what is OHP, yeah, where you have to put the transparency over and shine it. That was it. Then we changed the name to SWET, S-W-E-T. When my family migrated to Australia, my partner, the one that you saw, got fearful and worried that I will move around. But I was the main person, so she sold out her shares to me. And another person, my partner now, I met him in a business seminar. I needed help. His name is Enrique. Spanish, but he's a Chinese, but sounds Spanish, right? He speaks Spanish, and he was interested to take up the share. So he came in as my partner. And because I told you that we started to do corporate image training, and the first bank I trained was called BSN Bank Commercial. It was a very Islamic bank. And the second bank that I trained a lot of banks, is Maybank, Malayan banking, the biggest bank in Malaysia. So Maybank told me that if you want to do our business, we cannot pay your fees to Skin Ethics because Skin Ethics is too feminine. We need you to have a training center. That was how my partner Enrique and me decided to form SWET. That means we changed the name Skin Ethics to SWET, S-W-E-T. Sheila Wong, Enrique So. And we've changed the name in the year 2004 because of our big client, Maybank. And from then onwards until today, we've been using this name, SWET.
So Sheila, I'd like to ask some questions because of your experiences then in creating your businesses. How does a young lady who at the time that she went to London was struggling with
Self-esteem.
feelings, yeah, self-esteem. How was your self-esteem built up by, say, rebranding yourself or by harnessing the psychology of image, for example? Did changing the way you dress, changing the way you look, did that help you? For example,
It helped me tremendously. You see, because before that, you've seen the first photo of me young. I like to wear something which I felt, in my opinion, look good on me and look my age.
Okay.
Age. You know, in Malaysia, when you're married, people will call you as a form of address, auntie. Auntie was so old. I was 23. I went to the market and they called me auntie. I was so disturbed. I came home crying to my husband. I said, why do they call me auntie? He said, because you're married. I couldn't accept it, right? So that was it. So because of that word auntie, I said I refuse to dress older than my age. In fact, I want to dress younger than my age. But not knowing that when you dress too young, like a teeny popper, people don't take you seriously.
Mm.
So after going through the grooming course in London, I said, well, I can still look young, but what I want to do is to look more sophisticated. So that when I walk out there and when you dress more sophisticated, the way you walk, the way you carry yourself, you just stand up tall. And that persona, people just can't miss it. When you walk into the room, you just arrest the attention in a positive way. And so what I did was I worked from external to internal. The clothes gave me power. And because the clothes gave me power, I felt even like more empowered. You ask me who was the one? One of it is my business partner because he always says that you must always think from the man's point of view. So because of this, I also designed my program to be not so feminine. The other person whom I idolize and who is also an inspiration to me is this person called Michelle Obama.
Oh,
Michelle Obama until today inspires me a lot. So let's talk about Michelle Obama. I'm sure you see her this way. Uh, right. October 2008, the host of the Tonight Show, Mr. Lino, asked Michelle Obama about this particular dress that she's wearing and her wardrobe. He said, I'm guessing this cost you 60 to 70 grand for the outfit. Now, just because she was the first lady, anything she wear must have cost that much. I think that was the perception most people have. And guess what was her answer? J. Crew. J. Crew is a common brand in US. Any of us can afford it. But because of that, it started an 8-year obsession, not to mention a new approach to the story of dress and power. And it makes me feel, and it confirms and assure me that when I dress empowered, people look at me, I am like an image of authority for my topic.
Sheila, because you were in the UK, and I presume this was even during the time that Margaret Thatcher came to power. And wow, you know that is one very powerful lady herself. Could you comment on how she made such great impact in the United Kingdom? Was it the way she dressed? Was it the way she held herself? Was it the way she sounded?
Fantastic. I think it was all of the above. Now, Margaret Thatcher and Michelle Obama are two different women. Michelle Obama does it in a more supportive way. In her own way, she was influencing, she was persuasive, she was soft, she was approachable. Margaret Thatcher takes on the head of a very dominating person, a person
Oh
who
yeah.
can rule the world. That's why if you look at her style of dressing, it's different. Margaret Thatcher's way of dressing, even though she's wearing something that is very feminine, that means very female, she has got a lady suit, but her fabrics are always very stiff. There is a psychology to dressing. So when you wear very stiff fabric, it also reflects what you are inside. If you listen to the way she speaks, she is very aggressive, she is very firm, right? When I say when I say that this is the way, is my way or the highway.
Yes.
Whereas Michelle Obama will say in another way, she is assertive, she's not aggressive. I feel this will be a better way. Now, even the way Michelle Obama dressed had a softer approach. So the way she speaks will be, I feel this will be a better way. Margaret Thatcher, she puts on her dress, all very stiff, the suited thing. It's like no nonsense. This is my way. You either have it my way or no way, you go back to the highway. See, the fabric itself already. Why she chose that? Because that is her and she feels comfortable. That is her essence. So what you wear is also a reflection of your being. You will normally wear something that you're comfortable with and yet you're comfortable in. This is how I see it. Both women of power, and it's which one that we resonate more with. I respect Margaret Thatcher. I I respect and I adore Michelle Obama.
Wonderful. So, this beggars the question. Can confidence come from within, in the sense that there are some people who seem to just possess it, despite what they're wearing? I think of, say, Joan of Arc, during the medieval times, leading all of those knights and having their respect. And she had no chance to wear anything but, say, warrior knights outfits. Or can confidence also come from, say, a person who starts out as feeling very nervous, very possessed by stage fright, but if you give such a person the opportunity to wear the right clothing, that person might blossom and become more confident. Are both true, or are
Not true.
they
For me,
okay?
it's not true. If I am sorely lacking in confidence, whatever you give it to me, I will still not be confident. So
Mm.
confidence definitely need to be developed. That's why, but there are two kinds. There's some of them, you can see some people, they are full of confidence, right? They don't dress well. In the sense, when I say they don't dress well, you don't need to dress in designer clothes. Some of them, they are decently, they have a pleasant appearance. They dress reasonably, but because of the confidence, they look more majestic. Because of the confidence, the way they hold themselves, right? So I'm talking about another group of people where they are oozing with confidence, and they don't care how people look at them. So for them, dressing is not important. Maybe they wear something that is ill-fitting, right? So you are very confident and you stand beside another person who's very confident. Both are confident. A and B are confident. Who would you who would you give more respect to? The one who's confident and well-groomed, or the one who's confident and not well-groomed?
That's an excellent point, because I do know of a friend on FB who recently posted a rant because he walked into a bank to open up an account, and he's an artist who makes literally millions of pesos from his unique sculptures and his paintings. But because he was wearing jeans, he had a beard, and his hair was disheveled. Not only did the guard not really pay him any attention, also the new accounts person thought he did not possess the minimum amount for a deposit. And the worst part is, when they told him so, he just came unglued. He told himself, I will take my money and my business elsewhere, because they thought that he didn't have enough money to open up an account because of the way that he looked. So I'm with you in this, that image is so critical, especially now in this Zoom, the era of Zoom, where we project ourselves to people. We need to look the right way. I'm glad that you shared some thoughts, or in a sense, some myths that need to be debunked about image. Um, are there other myths that people are somehow still trapped in, that they think, oh, as long as I'm confident, doesn't matter what I look like? Um, because I think that's a myth. I mean, we really should take care of how we look, right? Are there others that you're aware of?
Maybe I will share this, and to continue further on this topic here, right? I'll share this. I will ask you, which one has more professional appeal?
I think letter C would. I mean, I'd show her more respect and maybe even
Yes,
open the door for her.
yes, exactly. So let me share with you again. When I was younger, I liked to dress like A because I thought I would look really good. Not knowing that when you walk out this way here, there would be the respect, right? And
Yes.
some of us, especially during this lockdown stage, we want to be comfortable. So when we dress this way and when we appear on the online platform, we do a video conferencing, we too lose the respect because we don't look like We don't look credible enough to be professional. Unless we are in a different kind of industry, then it's different, right? As long as we want to be working professionals, I think it's so important. And if you look at
Yes.
B is all right, right? Decently clad, but the minute you see somebody who's more fitted, it's not about the size. It's really about whether it's appropriate, whether you look right. I think it's apart from looking good. Of course, A look very good. Most people will be very attracted to A. I wish I got the body of an A. But if I want to go out there to gain more respect, to have more opportunities that people will believe in me, I will anytime go for a C. All the
Indeed.
dressing, yes, right.
Yeah.
So the B is a bit too loose, so there's no authority there. And talking about which, it doesn't matter how old or how young, but it's really which one command more respect. Sometimes when we are too flamboyant, we're too overdressed, it scares people as well. Just look at this one here. Which one command more respect? This one, both are of age, huh? Or this one?
Oh, definitely B would command more respect. I mean,
Yeah,
first of all, I'd be thinking that she probably shops at Harrod. She probably goes to Starbucks for her coffee. But A, I might think goes to the shelter where she found some clothes that were donated. So
yeah,
I would respect B more, way more.
yeah. And sometimes a lot of us, we are living in a state of self-denial. Who says
Mm.
that when we reach a certain age, we will lose the appeal? Not necessary, because we can tap onto our own experience. The fact that we have walked through many years of our life serving people, we have got so much experience and so much stories to share that could inspire people. But how can we inspire people if we don't look the part? So while you
Mm.
say that B may look like she shops in Harrods, may not necessarily be. All she needs to do is put on something simple that is well fitted. Yes, she looks a million already. She looks like she shopped in Harrods. She looks like she shopped in the streets of St. Honore. Not necessary. This one may be having the most expensive outfit, but it looks like she got it off the flea market. For me, A is a person who lives in a state of self-denial,
Yeah.
where we just refuse to acknowledge the fact that they are no longer of that kind of an age to take this kind of profession.
I'd like to challenge though your thoughts, your ideas about image, because I wonder, for example, how or why would people like, for example, Stephen Jobs or the founder of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, just wear nothing but a pullover, jeans, and some sneakers, and yet command millions of diehard fans when they do their product launch? Is that more because of their need somehow to project approachability, or is that a brand that they want to project? I mean,
That's a very good question. Now, if you look carefully at Steve Jobs and you look at Mark Zuckerberg, you even look at Bill Gates, they may dress very simple, a polo tee or just a simple shirt, but they don't dress shabbily.
that's a good point. Yeah,
They just
at least
dress,
it's neat.
they are comfortable in that polo, they're comfortable in that shirt because it's their signature, it's their brand, it's
Mhm.
their own personal image, which is their own personal brand, and this is what they want to project to the world,
Mhm.
right? I'm casual, I'm easy to talk to. That's why Facebook, anybody can be on Facebook because that is the image. But even Mark Zuckerberg, recently he went to court. He was all suited up. Why did he need to suit up when he go to court? Why didn't he wear his normal uh, business shirt that is all rolled up and his loose pants? Because he wants to make an impression, a positive impression to the judges and to whoever is sitting in the courtroom. Isn't it so? I think there was a lot of news about Mark Zuckerberg when he went to court. And why was he dressed in a suit? Every day you don't see him in the suit. Because when he is in his own office, that is his own backyard. And when you're in your own backyard, your own home, you are the king, you are the emperor. You dictate what you want.
So, in other words, in the courtroom where he may have felt emasculated, he needed to somehow project this this image or aura of strength and power, and so that's why he chose to wear the tailored suit.
For me, it was not. For me, when he dressed that way, it was respecting the occasion, respecting that it's a very formal occasion. So he
Yes.
knew when to dress very formal and when to be
Mm.
casual. Because his company's brand is casual. You go into Facebook, you can put anything on Facebook. There are not many rules of what you cannot do unless you encroach on people's personal space. Other than that, it's so free and easy.
Is it possible that Mark Zuckerberg had the services of an image consultant before he went to answer the summons?
Possible, possible. There are so many image consultants in US. One of the things of image consult, not only image consultants, any professional, I wouldn't say image consultant, anybody who is very professional in his or her industry, we we are bound by NDA. We don't disclose who our clients
Oh,
are.
of course.
That's why Mark, if Mark Zuckerberg has got an image consultant, I am sure his image consultant has signed the NDA. It's just like I sign a lot of NDA. So there's certain clients we cannot reveal.
Mm. The non-disclosure agreements. Imagine, for example, what if somebody were to get say the North Korean president as a client and to try to revamp his image from being the way it is now to something somehow more approachable and friendlier. Uh, Whoever that consultant would be would would probably make a lot of money just trying to guide and coach him. I have a question for you, Sheila. Is image consulting just about what people wear, or does that include, for example, what they say, how they say it, how they sit, the posture? What are some of the things that go into, say, creating that unique psychology of power through image?
Yes, definitely. Apart from the appearance part, we will also be guiding them on how they conduct themselves, the behavior part at the workplace, in the business arena, as well as in the social setting. But not necessary, and a lot of people have the misconception or misunderstanding that image consultants are very, the word just slipped my mind, prudish. That means we sit a certain way, we behave a certain way, we always sit upright, we are always well behaved. No, we are human beings. I think the important part is to be authentic. If you are the type who have a hearty laugh, go ahead and have your hearty laugh as long as you don't overdo it. As long as you are polite and kind to others, be yourself. And polite and kind to others will win you votes. But remember the first impression, when we talk about the first impression, the first 7 seconds, where people form 11 major decisions about you. Now, this one, the first 7 seconds, people form 11 major decisions. It is the latest survey done by Harvard Medical School. And the impression that flicked through our mind is even before we open up our mouth to speak. We don't even have a chance to hear the person, but we already start to form this impression, this perception. This person is trustworthy. This person is experienced. This person cannot deliver. This person cannot be trusted. Now, this person has got a fanciful lifestyle. This person's status is so high or so low. Do we form this type of judgment? We do. Isn't it so? And how do we form? It's based on the way we carry ourselves.
Mm.
It's not like when we are dressed from top to toe with jewels. No, but it's how we carry confidently. So it starts from the inner confidence. If you have got the confidence, you only need to use very simple clothes to bring up that persona. I'm not sure if I answered the question of yours.
Uh, it's fine because I totally understand what you're trying to say, in the sense that what we project depends on what we're trying to achieve, and sometimes it's achieved through, say, what we wear. Sometimes it's achieved through how we feel about ourselves and how we carry ourselves with others. um, I have a question now, wondering what simple tips could we share to our viewers, especially because of of how so many meetings now are exclusively online. You know, everybody's working from home, and well, as we can imagine, I'm sure you've seen this yourselves. Many people simply wear shorts, and then they just take care of their upper garments because
Yes,
these meetings occur only within the framework of a box. Um, in this
I,
reality, what how can we help our viewers, like, you know, how can we help them project their best selves in the limits of this
okay.
platform?
I also want to address the previous question that you asked about the behavior part. And also this
Yes.
current one is like how to project your best self, right? These two things, that means we're talking about the S to S, screen to screen image. I will share this one with you and you let me know, okay, which one, in your opinion, right? All four are fully suited up. Can you see? All four are dressed, all four have got empowered dressing. All four
Yes.
are fully suited up. But the first one that strikes you, the first one that catch your attention is which one?
The one who passed out.
The one who passed out, isn't it? And straight away is a very negative impression. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is that people, human beings, we remember negative things more than positive things. So if this is the first impression that you give to me, I will always remember you as being badly behaved, as in like not in the right behavior. And this is a meeting. If you're tired, go
Okay.
home and sleep. Why do you sleep here? And you are
Mm.
fully suited up, all the more. So I will not remember these three, but I will always remember this one for a different reason, a very negative reason. That means at any time, this is the first one I will not give opportunity to because he fell asleep in the meeting room. Can see that? But if all three are asleep and this one is awake, then this will be the person I will remember for the rest of my life. That is the opportunity that I will give to. So now, by default, these three will have better opportunity than him. But I will
Yeah.
not give to this one in brown too because look at his back is rounded. There is not enough confidence there. Can see that?
Yes.
Not enough
Yes.
confidence. So probably I will be thinking of these two ladies.
Yeah.
That is the power of the visual impression because it will give you dressing, empower you. That's the meaning of dress and power with the Michelle
Mm.
Obama. Now let me show you some simple ways to look good, right? For everybody. If your room is poorly lit, let's talk about this. If your room is poorly lit, what would you wear? So for me, every day is an opportunity. Do we want to look comfortable or do we want to look credible? Okay. I will show
Good
real
question.
pictures. Yes, I will show real pictures because if you ask me, how would you look good when you're doing your online meetings, whether you're doing your video conferencing? I have, apart from doing corporate training, I also do public. Currently, I am doing 4 groups of students on their personal image branding. So it's a 3 months program where I take them through and I will coach them. It's a group coaching, and this is one of them. She says that now I'm retired. I don't want to look good. But you say, what is the reason you come? It's because you want to look good. You want to command respect, isn't it? You want, even though you are retired, you want your family to look up to you, to feel that you are still relevant. So this is all she did. This is how she liked to look comfortable. So the next question, I said, you want to look comfortable or you don't want to look credible? You can see that? So this is the advice that I will give to your audience that if they do want to look good online, first thing, if you are of a certain age, meaning if you feel that you are already middle age, I wouldn't know whether you are middle age or not, but if you feel that you are middle age, where you already touched your 50, do avoid dark clothes, especially if you're on online and your lighting is not good. Lighter color help. Combing your hair help. Having some makeup help. These two are blouses. Then maybe you will say, but this one is more fancy. Well, but this one is more well pressed. This one, even though it's comfortable, it looks like you just got up from bed. That is the difference. Okay? And this is a lawyer. Now, when you wear this way, for online, it's going to be very warm. So you want to look empowered? Not necessary. All you need to do is just to remove the jacket. You're good to go online. For me, when I want to go online, it's very easy. I just add a scarf, I add an accessory, that will do. You see, this is very comfortable for me. I can very well not wear my accessory. All right.
Yes.
I can very well just wear something plain. I'll show you now.
Okay. So for our viewers, remember the tip Sheila shared. First is on credibility, and a second one is on empowerment. Oh, okay.
Let's say I have a plain dress this way, very plain, right? Very plain. I change my specs, or maybe I don't even have specs. Can you see? It's the specs that enhance me. And I
Yes.
use this one because of the frame, so it gives me more power. I look more empowered. So even if it's plain, I look good. Now, if I want to look more interesting, remember I showed the scarf just now. It doesn't cost a lot to buy a scarf for the ladies. You just need to add this one on.
Oh. Oh, like a scarf. Yeah. Yeah.
The scarf is actually a scarf. I got no time to tie up, but just to show you. So when I have got a bit of accessories, it enhances the whole look and it gives my image another dimension. Whereas if it's plain, it's so flat. Can see that?
Yes, I'd also like to point out that it's amazing how strategic your light sources are, because none of them are reflecting off of your glasses, and that's wonderful, because anything that would have reflected off your glasses would have been distracting or glaring.
Yes, I have got another pair of glasses I saw. So sometimes we don't have to spend so much time. The initial time when you buy your specs, you have to see. If you can see the reflection, it's not good. In fact, it makes you look hideous. And I know this pair is good. This is especially for conducting trainings and meetings, because I do a lot of trainings and I don't want to tax myself. Now, the other thing is when you wear bifocal, when you wear, is it called a multifocal, where this part is short-sighted and this is long-sighted, you can't see this, you have to look up this way. And when you look up this way for long periods of time, this is going to hurt you.
Oh,
And
yes.
when you look up this way, it is not ideal. You are not projecting an image that can be an inspiration for change. Now, I am talking about transforming people. But if I myself don't even look like I am transformed, how could I inspire other people to be transformed? Maybe you want some suggestions for men as well. I can give you for men as well. Yes,
Wonderful.
I think I have for the men here. Right.
Delby did mention the fact that more and more men are becoming clients for image consulting.
Yes. You see, when you wear this, I mean, this is really fine if you're very artistic. But let's say if you are talking about being a professional, this will be very good if you're in the creative industry, you're in the fashion industry, you are an artist, you're a fashion designer, but not if you're working as a professional. The reason
Yeah.
being, while tattoo is very artistic, but it doesn't flow well with a lot of people. So the
Yeah.
reason I put the cross here is because of the tattoos, right?
Mm.
And showing the chest and all these things is really good for a hot date, but may not be good for the office environment.
Mm.
Whereas this one, which one attract and which one distract?
Oh, I'd say A would be more attractive, where B is too distracting.
Yes, because it's too bright. So that
Yeah.
means when you want to wear something online and you want to look a little bit brighter, especially when it's too much like translucent and it's like the highlighter pen, or if it's too much, like it comes on very strong, like fire engine danger, you want to
Yeah.
consider A. So wearing red, which one will be more favorable face-to-face meeting is definitely A. But when you go
Yes.
online, somehow or rather, strangely, when you go online and when you wear B, it doesn't show so much. It doesn't come on
Oh,
too strongly because the lighting
okay.
is different, and because when you go through this internet, it doesn't look as scary. So, but I would still suggest that you go for A is because sometimes when you finish one meeting, you may have to go out for a while. And can you imagine
Right.
you go for a while, and when the minute you walk out the door, you meet someone who may be the one who wants to give you opportunity, and there you're dressed so wrong.
Right. Uh, Opportunities do knock at strange times. You can never tell when it will happen.
Yes, yes, that's true. All right. And of course, dressing for the occasion is also important. When we talk about the behavior part, the carriage part, do you know that shoes have an effect on us? Yes,
Do tell us. Yeah.
I'm not sure about I've been to Philippines, so I've seen, right? But over here, sometimes it's so easy, they would like to wear slippers. Do you know that when
Yes.
you wear slippers and sandals, all these things, you have a tendency to drag your feet. So that is not that it's not right, but when you wear, okay, when you're working from home, this is perfectly all right. Whatever you want to wear, these three pairs here. But when you're walking out on the street, I would suggest not unless you are going to you are going for a holiday where you need to walk by the beach side and all these things. Otherwise, you will find that you have a tendency to drag your feet, and that
Yeah.
will undermine your confidence.
Mm.
If you dress decently, just a blouse and a skirt, right? For the ladies, I think the minimum you want to have is some covered pants. Minimum.
And
Is how
those
I
look great. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. For the men as well. So you don't wear sports shoes, and which is so sad now. You see some men, they are fully suited up and they wear a pair of sports shoes. It just doesn't go because suits are supposed to be formal, and the man is wearing some sports shoes. It's meant to be for sports.
Mm.
Yes.
I have a question. Some men seem to prefer loafers for their footwear. I've always been partial to leather shoes with laces. Uh, how do you? What's your take on
Okay.
those?
If you like leather shoes with laces, can tell that you like things that are more formal, they are more proper. Because if you're talking about the plain leather shoes with laces, I think you're talking about the Oxford, which is very formal.
Yes.
Okay. The less formal, the more stylish and less formal is broke. And we have loafers. If loafers, in fact, nowadays the men's shoes, the loafers are designed and they're made from leather. If loafers are made from pure leather, it can pass off as a business shoe. But if loafers are made from sweat, which is also a leather, it will be considered as casual.
Mm. What do you would be like absolute no-nos for somebody who is leading a group or leading a team, to show up in a meeting? Because you've already described, and I agree with you that we need to command credibility. We need to be attractive. We also need to be careful about what image we project in terms of accessories that we use. Um, if you're a team leader, you're a manager or a supervisor, for example, and you have to say project approachability and yet not lose your authority, um, how would you strike a balance between the two?
Maybe, okay, I'm not prepared, but I can show the visuals. What is the no-no, okay? If this person is leading a team,
Okay.
would you trust this person?
All right. Mm, I'm not
The, re
sure, except
the
maybe the
reason,
one. Yeah, except maybe the one in the middle. I might trust him a little.
okay, all three are the same man. The reason you trust the one in the middle is because he is wearing one tone and his shoes are
Yes.
light. So there's continuity, there's not too many colors. Even though it's not the best, at least you can accept this better, right?
That's right.
But you would prefer him not to roll up his pants. You would
Yes.
prefer him to bring down his pants. That at least you will not see Mark Zuckerberg wear this way. That means even though he's casual, he will not be so careless. This is it because
Mm.
they want to follow trend, not knowing that it's highly unsuitable. And then why do you not accept the other two? Is because proportion is out. Can you see
Yes.
here? Right. He's wearing leather shoes. This is the new way of dressing. But remember, when you see on the fashion spread, they look really good, is because those mannequin, those models are very tall. But when you're not very tall and you wear it this way, it becomes a distraction.
Yeah.
But it could have helped if you have worn socks here. You didn't wear socks, all three. But out of the three, because you're forced to select one, you selected the middle one.
Yeah,
Right?
I picked the middle one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. And even if you are a lady leading a team, this won't do as well, because the one on the left is too loose. So when you're swimming
Yes.
about in your clothes, it's like you have no authority. And you wear something that is too short and you have got socks on your sandals, it just look like you are not sophisticated enough to handle a leadership position. And when it's too low plunging, we are looking more at the cleavage than at the person. So we think that this person is all about herself, but not about business.
That's right.
Inappropriate. So even if you say, no, I need to dress very simple, I will ask you, which one looks more appropriate for leader?
I would pay more attention to the lady in letter A, the picture in letter A.
Yes, even though she is wearing a bit low, but at least if you see the whole thing that is packaged together, it's resemblance of some order. You cannot understand a person who dresses this way, because why? When the proportion is out, it becomes a distraction. It throws you off balance. So it's really
Yeah.
not about age or the size. It's about the appropriateness of the dressing, so that you command the respect as a leader.
Yes. The one in B would make me think of a picnic table instead of a team leader. So
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. So the solution is, no, you never know when you'll be called for a leadership role. Even if you are a team player, even if you're a team player, you find that as a leader or as a team player, this is highly acceptable. A well-fitted outfit, not too loose, not too tight.
that's
On
true.
the knee,
The one on the left is wonderful because her figure and her height, coupled with those vertical lines, just enhance her image of being svelte and tall and commanding
yes,
respect. The one in the center, uh, somehow she strikes me as somebody who's trying to be trendy. And while I may still respect her, she doesn't have the same amount of respect that I'd give to the one on the left with the vertical stripes. Now, the one on the extreme right with that one piece outfit, while she's very attractive, the totality of all those vertical lines going all over her outfit just makes her look too tall. And I'm not too at ease with that. The one on the left, I think,
yeah.
my impressions anyway.
Okay, which brings us back to the same thing. You see, this one is very obvious, right? A is appropriate, B is highly inappropriate. So the majority will have voted the same thing. Whereas this one here, all three are highly appropriate, all well fitted, all command a certain kind of respect. It's because they are dressed appropriately. But uh, no, you chose this one. The reason being is something that you like. So
Yes.
it's very subjective, but all three are not wrong. In fact, all three are right. So
Oh,
when we
okay.
dress this way, and I think you like the one on the left because the straps are stronger, so it comes across as more empowered. Just by
Yes.
choosing, I already can tell uh, what kind of professionals will appeal to you. I can also tell, yes, either what kind of professionals appeal to you or your own personality type. So you like people who are more bold, who are more upfront.
Yes.
This is it.
Uh,
Whereas, yes, whereas the one in the middle has got some floral print. She still look very good. It's just that for you, you feel that a person got to be decisive in the business world. That's why you go for the one with the striped skirt. So maybe another person would have preferred the middle one. Why? Because this person will feel that, oh, the middle one with some floral print is softer. I like the softer approach. Whereas those people who play safe, they will like the one on the right hand side. They feel that simple, one whole line there, no mistakes. You will never go wrong. So on the right hand side are people who wants to make sure that everything is perfect, nothing is wrong. So these are the people, the very compliant one. They follow law and order. So they will go for the one on the extreme right, the tiny pinstripe from the top of the neckline until the end of the hemline.
I imagine, Sheila, that when you do your programs, you probably cover so many topics, like, the psychology of colors, or the psychology of cuts, particular ways of tailoring an outfit, or maybe even the psychology that goes with how a person should behave or move. If there are some ways that people could reach out to you, because the nice thing about this pandemic, oh, there are some nice things about the pandemic. It's not all bad, like less traffic, less bothersome schedules, because now everything is instantaneous and online. But I have a question. Because the world is now your audience, and your clients can come from anywhere on this planet, how would people get in touch with you so that, for example, they can enroll in your courses, or they can consult with you? Maybe you can leave it in our chat box, or simply announce it here, and then let our viewers know.
I think I prepared just that. If I'm not wrong, I prepared just that. Let me see if I got it here, so that it's
Okay.
easier.
Because I'm personally learning so much from what you're saying, what you're sharing.
Thank you.
Ooh.
This is my contact.
Wonderful.
Do I
So
need to
there are
talk to?
4 ways to reach you. Okay, so you're on LinkedIn, you're on Facebook, you're on Instagram, and Sweat Image, that would be the company
My
that you.
company. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So out of curiosity, how much time do you spend on social media, to promote yourself, or to talk
I
about?
think every day I spend about an hour and a half.
Okay.
Either first thing in the morning or last thing at night.
Mm.
But now I have tried to balance my life, where my night, okay, I give myself to Netflix.
Oh, oh yeah. We
I,
also need to reward ourselves.
yes, I never do that before. Now, I think one of the things that you wanted me to talk about before I think we're going to come to the end already, isn't it? So
Yes.
one of the things that I want to talk about is we really need to dress for the occasion. If we hope to inspire change, we have to be the change. We need to be
Yes.
adaptable. We need to be
Yes.
agile. That means if I'm talking to a group of bankers, I do have to look more formal, more empowered. If I'm talking to a group of homemakers, like recently we also got another contract where we talk to retirees, because retirees also have a life. They are lonely and they also want to look good. This is the time when I will dress more casual.
Mm.
And if I'm talking to a female group, I just want to be like more fashionable. But if I'm talking to hardcore, like I just finished 2.5 years of program with the top management, we cannot be too playful, because we need to send out the message that while we are friendly, we are also very professional and we're serious about what we do. So it's really, really depends. So you can have different looks. There is a difference. Like, as a man, you could change your look by changing what? The colors.
Agreed. I am partial to say winter colors, those that are
Yes,
extreme dark or extreme light, and solid colors, because I think it projects more power and credibility for me.
yes, definitely. This is how I have my different moods here. So sometimes I can be very formal, sometimes I can be very fun. I do my best to adapt, but without being too ridiculous, because I'm of a certain age already.
Oh, that's true. Sheila, if you could leave some some words of advice, especially for all the 23-year-olds out there who have a dream and would like to take that first step. What would you share to encourage them?
Your image must always be an inspiration to others. That is my word to them. That means whatever we dress, how we speak, how we dress, we must always be an inspiration. So that will be the part that will help to keep us moving forward. You always come dressed as if today is the most important meeting for your career. And because you never know who comes ringing on the doorbell.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, those are powerful words from Sheila Wong, and you heard it here on the Leader's Edge. Thank you so much, Sheila, for sharing your valuable time and expertise with us. And ladies and gentlemen, our next episode will be episode 10 for season 5, and the topic will be work, wealth, and well-being. It will be having our guest Carmi Pascual de Leon. Now, a wonderful coincidence is that during season 1, Carmi was our third guest who I interviewed as well. So this is almost like coming full circle because after 5 seasons, she will be our guest again and I will be interviewing her once more. So I'm really looking forward to that. So once more from our viewers to you, Sheila, thank you so much for sharing your valuable time and expertise. And ladies and gentlemen, always remember that learning is a never-ending journey with limitless vistas. Good night.